Welcome to the Dire Gentleman channel, where there are things to talk about.
What's shaking, cats?
You cool cats, you cool Prohibition-era cats who were doing booze smuggling down in St. Louis.
Yeah, down on the Mississippi River. We watched Lackadaisy.
Yes, a brand new animated pilot that was released on YouTube very recently.
Yeah, the animated adaptation of everyone's favorite webcomic from about 10 years ago about cats selling bootleg liquor and shooting each other.
This is my first experience with anything regarding the Lackadaisy franchise, but I have heard that it's a pretty popular webcomic from you just now. This pilot has given me such a good first impression of this world and these characters, and so I figured we'd do a little bit of a short video just covering it.
It is a really good pilot. For the longest time, I thought that they were making a Lackadaisy movie.
That would have been far more ambitious than just a pilot.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a full, 90-minute film. But I'm kind of glad that it's a pilot. Because I think, obviously it's a webcomic. It's designed for serialization. So I think that, a movie adaptation isn't going to do it justice.
Yeah, I like that they were willing to kind of go pretty ambitious in making a 30-minute animated pilot, but also, taper the expectations. It's not going to be telling the whole story in an entirely new medium. It does what a pilot does. It gets you enticed into the world.
Introduces you to the main characters, the story engine, the kinds of things that are going to happen to these wacky cats.
It's funny, because you have a show called Kingmaker, which is also about a trio of eccentric smugglers who go on a variety of adventures, and that's an audio drama.
It's set about 15 years before Lackadaisy.
It was just before the point in history where everybody inexplicably turned into cats.
Yeah, there was the catification beam that was famously used during World War I.
Yeah, it was a German superweapon, the catification beam.
Designed by Kaiser Wilhelm himself.
I think both Kingmaker and this common thread between the two of them is just this commitment to the aesthetic of the time period that they are set in, because this show just screams like Prohibition era America.
This feels Don Bluthy. And this is positive. This is a good thing. I am a Don Bluth aficionado.
Now, you would know this. Did Don Bluth do Cats Don't Dance, or was that somebody else?
No, that was Ted Turner.
Okay, yeah, because Cats Don't Dance, anytime I see, humanoid cats in the big city, I always think of that movie. I don't know why. It's not a particularly good movie.
It's giving very Cats Don't Dance. It's also giving an American Tale.
Yes, yeah. There's also, a strong pinch of Animaniacs in this main trio, I would say.
For sure. The voice that Michael Kovacs does for Rocky is very, yakko.
Oh, that's Michael Kovacs in there? He sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's Michael Kovacs. I didn't recognize any of the other names, but, the two, names that they have in the voice cast is Sungwon Cho plays Mordecai, who is the leader of the rival gang with the glasses.
He's great in this.
He's fantastic.
Mordecai ends up being, really intimidating throughout this because they gave him this leitmotif that is just the ticking of a clock every time he's about to, maybe shoot his gun.
Yes!
It's really cool. It builds up to, every beat of action that he's involved in. So getting back to the sort of, aesthetic that kind of resembles, Don Bluth, Disney, all these kind of, child-friendly things, I like that it's willing to do that and also be a show where, the cats, shoot each other with guns, blow each other up with dynamite, and run booze.
Drink, they smoke.
It feels naturalistic. It's not something that's trying overly hard to be adult. It's just, these characters just exist in a world where, failing criminal enterprises and booze and gunfights are part of their lives.
Well, it feels like old, Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
almost.
Because that level of, sort of violence and cartoon shenanigans.
This is nominally child friendly, but it's PG. We're not gonna shy away from the fact that these characters shoot each other and smoke and drink and smuggle. But it's I wouldn't feel bad showing this to a kid.
We should talk about the main characters a little bit, because I think this pilot really does such a good job setting up each of their skill sets and why we should care about them.
Yeah, so you got Rocky, who is the leader. He's kind of, like I said, Midsummer Night's Dream. He reminds me of a Puck type character. He's very similar to, he's also very similar to, also from Midsummer Night's Dream, like Bottom, who was the leader of the theater troupe.
I think anybody who is like, you know, playing in a D&D game and they want to be the bard of the party, but they also want to be kind of a badass, take notes looking at this character, Rocky, and the way that he contributes to the fight scenes.
Yeah, we'll probably end up talking about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves eventually on this channel, but, like, similar character archetype to, Ed from that movie.
We've gotta enter the era of, like, cool bard.
After Rocky, you've got Freckle, who is, an orange cat, who is very nervous, but, like, goes into, like, a berserker blood rage if you hand him a gun.
Like every orange cat, really.
which is so funny.
He's great. I love Freckle. If we were to do like the sort of like Animaniacs or like Ed, Edd and Eddy thing for them, you've got Rocky, who's kind of like, you know, the schemer. You've got Ivy, who is the like voice of reason. For a lot of this, Freckle is like another sort of voice of reason. He's kind of like the strong silence type. He's a little soft-spoken, but it's so clear that he is the, like, unstoppable force, the Ed.
He's the Colette, a little bit neurotic, but, like, is also kind of the tank of the team.
No, and I love that. Again, barbarian players in D&D, take notes on the role-playing methods of this character.
I don't know, how would you describe Ivy's position in the team?
I'd say that, like, she is the one that is the, like, handy person.
Yeah, she's the rogue.
She's, like, their getaway driver and the pilot. She also, like, kind of repairs things.
It's so funny, though, because it's like, when she does the getaway driving, she, like, backs down into the riverbank, and Rocky's like, where the hell did you learn to drive like that? And she goes, I didn't what? Didn't learn to drive.
Yeah, and I think that's really funny because, like, she's clearly, like, not the best at the job that she's been assigned on the team, but, like, it's so clear that, like, she tries and somehow or other...
She's got moxie, kid!
Exactly, she manages to get it done. Like, there's a shot towards the end where, like, she said, like, yeah, I fixed the car, and it just collapses. And it shows that this character is, like, going to be doing certain things throughout, like, a full series of this. Probably does in the webcomics, but I'm just going on, like, the assumption that people watching this would be, like, watching it to pick it up. They can see that, like, this is the character who's getaway driving and, like, repairing, but, like, might be pretty incompetent at it in a charming way early on.
Yeah, like the car breaks down immediately after she fixes the engine, and...
The main trio is very solid. Again, Bard, Barbarian, and Rogue, a great party composition. Notably nobody who can, like, heal.
Yeah, nobody's the medic.
And that kind of suits them, because they are reckless, they cause a lot of collateral damage. The fight scenes in this really, like, showcase just about everyone's strength.
The car chases are incredible.
A good portion of this pilot is establishing sort of, like, the roles that the main characters are playing, showing off this sort of, like, 3 versus 3 gang skirmish between these two rival criminal gangs. And then, at the very end of this, they do such a good job of peeling back the curtain and showing the scope of the cat prohibition era and the different factions that are in play. It builds off of our familiarity with prohibition era, like, media, if we've seen any of it, but it also, like, you know, makes it clear, like, oh, there's the guy who is gone clean, or he has to keep up appearances. There's the, like, the drunk sort of down and out musician who sometimes plays with Rocky.
Yeah, the jazz musician. I love the Russian bartender. He's great.
Yeah, and then, of course, there's, what's her name?
Is it Miss M?
Miss M! It's Miss M.
It's no relation.
Mitzi.
Seemingly
the widow of the previous leader of her gang, which I believe is called Lackadaisy, right?
I'm assuming.
Yeah, because the post-credits scene has us set up, you know, the people who hired Mordecai and the 2 Cajun twins, and it seems like what we see in the pilot might set off a good old cat gang war.
Yeah.
To me, I think that was sort of the perfect note to end it on, because it's like, you know, bigger things are going to happen. They pulled off this one job, kind of. They're still rough behind the ears. Wet behind the ears. Rough around the edges and wet behind the ears. Wet around the edges and rough behind the ears.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how the expression goes.
But yeah, no, all in all, I'd say that this is really interesting.
It's fantastic.
We covered a long time ago, we covered a couple different pilots on this channel, including a pilot called Long Gone Gulch, which was really fun.
Yeah, Long Gone Gulch, Film Quest.
Another pilot that maybe we covered, and but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, no, I'm blank. I mean, it was a Henry and You video. I don't really remember.
Yeah, we make a lot of those.
This has made me want to finally get off my ass and post the pilot animatic for Urban Creatures.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, there's no way in hell that I'm gonna finish the animation on my own without doing what I continually threaten to do and getting a Screen Australia grant to finish it. I do kind of want to post it because it's like, so much work goes into these things. I love that the end credits, like, has a little bit of, like, behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah!
Like, it has work in progress, and, like, it shows the progression of shots from, like, layouts and storyboards, and, like, it has the rough sketch animation. That's so fun to see as an animator.
Yeah, no, this was fantastic. It just oozes style, and I wish the team behind it all the luck in the world getting it made.
Yeah, this is the sort of inaugural project of Iron Circus Animation, and Iron Circus is a comics publishing house out of Arizona. I don't know if they, like, own the print rights to the Lackadaisy comic, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I really like what this studio is putting together, and I hope to see more from them in the future.
Exactly. Great job, folks. And also, for all of you out there listening, go listen to Kingmaker. It's amazing.
If you like Lackadaisy, but you're self-conscious about consuming media that makes you seem like a furry, none of the characters in that are cats. I can promise you that much.
Yeah, you bunch of cowards. Anyway, we'll be seeing you in the near future.